Okay, welcome back to RC Novice. As you can see, I built up the 737 and pretty easy build. I also took it on my first maiden flight this morning, and as you might be able to see, it did not go so well. Well, it started well. We had a crash and we sustained some damage, but we learnt a fair bit. So I'll show you the damage. So we have unglued the motor and snapped a prop, and you can see twisted the cord, but I've tested the motor and it is still working, and this has just come loose a little bit. So I'll talk you through what happened. I didn't film it, unfortunately. I really should have, because it would have been some good footage, maybe what not to do. So I took it. We walked to the park, found a nice, it was a beautiful morning, low wind, beautiful day. We walked to a nice school oval, plenty of room, not a great amount of room, but enough to fly this small plane. I connected it all up, synced the controller, tested everything. Everything was working. So I put it at half throttle and launched it, and just threw it upwards and forwards, and took off straight away, going straight forward, a bit faster than I expected. Probably didn't need to launch it at half throttle, but I'll experiment with that as we go. And it went straight forward, and it was kind of up and down as I was trying to work out how to fly it. I turned it round to the left in an arc, and that was quite good. It was still going a bit too fast, and so I think I'll slow it down next time. And then came back towards myself, and then turned again and went across the front. Now I was flying too low as well, and across the front, and then I went across to the right of the oval, and there's some goalposts there. I saw the goalposts, and I just assumed that, what are the chances of hitting them? So I just started turning again, and that is when I ploughed into the highest goalpost at half speed. So it was a fair whack, and as you can see, there's absolutely, I think it hit around this area, and this is a bit loose, and absolutely no damage to the plane. So it is quite durable, because I hit it at a fair speed. Then we hit the ground. Now I don't think the damage to the motor was done to the when I hit the pole. I think it was because I broke the rule of when you crash your airplane, you need to power down the engines, and in the moment I forgot, and so it was still sitting at half throttle when I went over to it. And I think that's what's happened, because you can see how it's twisted. So I think it's hit the ground. This prop was sitting up, so it was okay, luckily, but this one was at half throttle, just spinning on the ground, and that's how I think I've snapped the prop and twisted the motor. And the motor was really hot as well, so I was lucky I didn't burn it out, but it is still working. I did test it. So some lessons I learned from the flight was not enough height. They say that you should fly at a height high enough to avoid 3 mistakes, or recover from 3 mistakes, and I definitely did not do that. I flew too close to an object, because your depth perception at distances is probably not the best, and also my biggest mistake was I didn't power down on the crash. So you cut the power as soon as you crash, so that you protect your engines. So yeah, it was good, and it was flying really well. I think it was a little needed. I could have adjusted the trim, but I really didn't have time. It was like tipping down a little bit, but I think that's easily fixed, because on the controller you do have some trim adjustments for the tail. So that'll be good. But you know, the pros is you know, it launched well, it was flying well, it looked great. The assembly was good. The glue is, I just used PVA glue, and that's all held. Yeah, so it was looking great. I think it's going to be a great little plane to learn on. Things happen really fast in the air, and it's not like a RC buggy where it doesn't really matter. You got plenty of time to recover and go slow. So next time I think I'll take off at maybe a quarter throttle, maybe a bit more, and then yeah, try and get some height this time, and yeah, try and stay calm and stay away from objects, and we'll see how we go. And if I do crash, I must throttle down. Now luckily it came with some spares, so we have, this is the prop puller offerer, I think that's a technical term, and we've got a left and a right, and it's actually marked on here, left and right. Whoop. Probably can't see that, but anyway, left and right, which is great. So I'm going to be able to, so all I need to do to get back in the air is to untwist this motor, stick it back on, stick this engine back down, and pop the motor, pop the propeller off, pop a new one on, and then let it set overnight. Or I could even tape it and maybe go for another fly this Arvo, depending on the weather. Yeah, so take two. Yeah, the flight lasted all of about probably 20 seconds, so so yeah, not the most successful thing, but you know, all good. It's a learning process, much less forgiving than RC cars, of course, but that's all right. And you know, part of the hobby is repairing things, so I guess that's how you go. Now I'm using the left prop. I'm gonna have to source some spares. Now I don't know if this, I doubt I could get spares for this model. I'll look into it, but I think if I just got some drone props, you know, 2 spare drone props of a similar size, and prop angle, and I guess the shaft would be the major issue, but anyway, I don't know about that, so I'll have to look into that. Yeah, so all good. And I also might get a spare little one of these motors, but I don't even know what they are, so I'll have to do some research on that, get a spare one of them, so that if I do burn one out, I'll have a spare. But yeah, you know, I was pretty impressed with it, and look, it's all a learning process, and we'll see how we go. So that's it for now. Very good.